Till today, in interior parts of India, still what happened is they use that old method, the ancestors' method, they used to do farming. And that's the reason more of the farmers are coming to the cities in search of a job so that, they can take care of their finances. I decided that I want to do something for the farmers and come up with my own brand. What hit me and tried that I want to make my own identity. I want to create my own identity. But that time I didn't know what is the right path to go there. How will I do that? Because there was a lot of pressure. When I was working in my farm, that's what made me think of, no, I want to do something for them. I will have to do something for them. But before I do something for them, I will have to create my own identity. Otherwise, they are not going to trust me. One thing I've learned from my mother is to be strong. Anything can happen. Life is not all about, that glory and anything can happen, and it's a challenge that you have to face every day.
I see that you have created a really big Ayurveda brand as well, which is Roveda.
Right.
And so I want to start there. What has your journey of getting into entrepreneurship, but also this particular brand?
So when you say a journey of entrepreneurship, I joined Kamani Tubes, which is my family business, and it's all about manufacturing of copper tubes. So we make copper pipes, copper rods, copper coils. So that was a journey I started with, and it was, I could say, not interesting for me because I have to deal with like copper raw material and how the pipe sizes are, and are they fitting, what the particular size, what is the thickness, what is the So I was like, okay, fine, it's a family business and I have to look after it. But there was something that was missing in my life and I don't know what it was. So one fine day, we have a land in Akola. So Akola is a small village in Maharashtra, and we have a land. So I told my mother that I would like to do a sandalwood plantation. And she said, what do you know about plantation? I mean, we are into a manufacturing unit and suddenly you want to jump into agriculture. And then I said her that I've done a lot of research on plantation and sandalwood, and I think I know quite enough where I can do my plantation. And she said, okay, go for it. If you feel like you can do it, go for it. Then I appointed a right team and I started doing the plantation. So my saplings came from Tamil Nadu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
for sandalwood itself?
For sandalwood, yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know, because we get the smell and the aroma of sandalwood, and we get the essential oils that, it is in everything they see when it comes to the West. What is it actually? Because I didn't even know that you have to plant sandalwood. So is it a plant?
It's a plant.
Okay.
It's a sapling. It's a small sapling that you get, and then you have to grow it for 18 years if you have patience.
18 years.
18 years.
You have to grow sandalwood for 18 years.
That's a minimum.
I don't think anybody has ever. So all of the essential oils that we get from sandalwood, these things take 20 years to make.
If you have patience, then 30 years. So if your plant is like old enough, like 30 to 35 years, you get a really good quality of sandalwood oil. So to develop that good quality, it takes that long. The more older the plant, the more good quality essential oil you get out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So coming back, so my saplings came from Tamil Nadu. I had to give them a rest so that, they can adjust to Akola weather. And then I thought, why don't I do some drenching with coconut water? And in Akola, there was a small cart. The guy used to sell coconuts. So I used to go every day, pick up those coconuts, remove the water and drench my saplings and keep aside. And few farmers, they started observing me that what this girl is doing. She's that all came from Bombay and ye nariyal pani se kya kar rahi hai bandi. We have to see that. And one fine day when I went there again to buy coconut, like the next day, the guy is saying it's all sold out. I said, sold out? How? I mean, kaun pee gaya itna pani types,
Right.
And then they said, farmer came to know what you're doing, madam. We know that if we plant our plants, if we water our plants with the coconut water, the plants are going to grow amazing and we'll get a good production. I was like, no, you're taking it wrong. This is not, it happens. I am doing it because it's a sandalwood plant. It has to be drenched in a certain way. You cannot give coconut water to a tur ka dal, you cannot do that. And then one fine day, all the farmers, they came to me and they're like, can you train us? I said, I can, but in what? And they're like, they want to get turn in cash crops. And if I can help them so that cash crops can help them financially, because they are doing traditional cropping and they want to do something else as well along with the traditional cropping.
Wow.
And that's how it started. And I went to Kannauj, I did my courses there. I came back, I started training my farmers. And then one fine day, somebody asked me, what will we do? I mean, we will grow the crops, we will distill the essential oil, and who is going to buy? Where is the buyer? And that's how Roveda was born in my Sandalwood farm, thinking that I need to do something for these farmers and I'll come up with a brand. And yeah, I mean, that's how I started.
So was this because of your love for sandalwood, or was this because of your love for the traditional farmer that you wanted to support?
It was for the farmers.
Because now I read that your mission is to impact how many farmers around the world?
1 million.
1 million farmers. Wow. And I think for a lot of us who don't know the situation of how farming has shifted in this part of the world, can you just share a little bit of background and context for all of us?
Till today, in interior parts of India, still what happened is they use that old method, the ancestors' method, they used to do farming. And that's the reason more of the farmers' kids, they are coming to the cities in search of a job so that, they can take care of their finances. But when I started training them, so what we do is we tell them to measure the land. If the land is 1 acre, you should know that how much quantity of seeds you're going to need it. Right? There has to be a measurement. If you need like 1 kg, then the production is going to be a certain amount. You just cannot go to the market and buy the seeds in the bulk and just throw in your land. There has to be a technique. There has to be a distance, a particular way. There has to be a particular kind of water you have to give. So all these things I started training them, how to keep the soil healthy, which is more important. If your soil is healthy, the production is going to be nice. What happened, the fertilizers came in the market, it's all chemical based. So the weed which comes in, they just spray it over and kill the weed. You don't have to kill the weed, because if you do that, the soil health is going to get spoiled.
And this is what's happening throughout the world.
Throughout the world, yeah.
And I know Sadhguru has a project.
Right.
I know that there's a lot of folks that are coming from the east to the west to talk about how they want to preserve the world's soil. And Monsanto, I don't know, I think Monsanto is also in India. And so, because you brought me these beautiful, now finished products, so tell us just a little bit. I want to get into 2 things. Getting into the products that Roveda has, because I'm obsessed, and your specific identity, because you do come from a very unique background as well.
So when I decided that I want to do something for the farmers and come up with my own brand, then the thing started. Okay, what kind of products I should bring in the brand, and how essential oil can help. What is it? Do I want to do it completely natural, or should I do a synthetic? What it should be. And then I thought, why don't I do completely plant-based product? So if my farmer is growing, say, geranium, the oil can be used in a sleep spray. The powders can be used in a face pack. So completely plant-based products I thought I'll do. And I focused more on the wellness category. Reason being, when I was a child, and if I used to suffer with a cold and cough, so what my grandmother used to do, she used to give me like haldi ka milk, she used to give me nilgiri, so I thought, why don't I bring
all of the Ayurvedic products that we spend thousands of dollars on, but then in India, it's like what the homemade recipes that our grandmothers, our daddies, and our nannies used to do.
Yeah. So one of the inspiration for my products was my grandmother. That was she used to do when I suffered low, or when I'm suffering from cold and cough or a headache, all those ghar ke nani maa ke nuske we call it. So how can I bring that? And then I further studied more essential oil. I went deeper into it. And then I found out, lavender oil can use for the sleep. And that's how I started training farmers to grow a particular crop after the soil test. And then I came up with a wellness category, which deals with your stress, if your energy levels are low, if you have a sleep problem, if you have a headache. So all these kind of products are there in Roveda. Apart from that, very few skincare products I have, like aloe vera gel, saffron aloe vera gel. I have some face pack which you can mix it with water or curd or milk. So something, then I have a hair pack. So yeah.
And just so, because some of these ancient traditions, Ayurveda is a science, and it's the oldest science in the world of basically functional medicine. And now, because the West has had its hands on it, you know, there's been such a big spike of people wanting to heal from just traditional Ayurvedic recipes, which have been around for thousands of years. And so what I'm hearing correctly is you took this concept of something that you just grew up with, and now the mission to impact these farmers so that they have livelihood, which is such a brilliant way for having sustainability, but also merging two loves in a way. And what do you think has been your number one product or focus for kind of the consumer?
Sleep spray, because a lot of people have sleep problem because they suffer mentally, emotionally. And that one thing which everyone is suffering is the sleep. They don't get a right quality sleep. Working hours are difficult. You know, you work, you come home. The scenario changes, right? So I think the best product what we have in Roveda is
the sleep spray. And this is the geranium.
This is the geranium and lavender blend, yes. And why I call it, because it's grown, my farmers grow them. So I know the quality of my raw material. And because they do it with their heart, you know, so everything is poured in that, just a bottle of deep sleep spray.
I love that. And I think that because so often, especially now, when you can make products so fast, and many times, at least from the West, you know, you see on the back and it's not made with heart and it's not made with, you know, with soul. And so I'm so conscious and cognizant when somebody's like, wait, you have to meet this person. So I basically do a whole deep dive and research on, all right, what is their product? What is it? And I was just so excited to really bring you on, because Ayurveda has been something so near and dear to me, you know, having lost both of my parents to cancer, losing my brother to, you know, an asthma attack before he was 16, he was 15 at the time. So I know that a lot of these ancient remedies for our well-being is something that I've just been obsessed with. And I'm so glad more and more companies like you that are doing things with intention, with soul, with love, are really coming into the market. And you're actually, it seems like it's a full, like a 360 approach, because it's not just the product itself, but it's also where it's being sourced, the land it's taken from. And I think a lot of times, no offense to everybody listening to me that is from the West, but there's a lot of this appropriation of products that really from our lineage and from our ancestors. And it's just so refreshing to see. So thank you for the love that you have and an intentionality that you have in the brand. What I'm so curious about is you come from a very prominent background. Everyone knows your mom. And I know that for people I've also had on the show who come from really big backgrounds, and identity and separation of identity is mandatory. What was that childhood like for you?
Childhood was quite difficult, I must say. I'm born in a Dalit family and I belong to a scheduled caste. So there was a challenges, and my father left me when I was in grade 2. So,
and for those people who don't know what the Dalit caste is, what does that even mean?
A scheduled caste, basically. So we come from a very low caste background. And dealing in that situation was pretty difficult at those days. When we were in school, or especially when your father leaves and, you know, your mother has to like take care of you and look for the finances to grow us up. So the childhood was not that great. But yes, one thing I've learned from my mother is to be strong. Anything can happen. Life is not all about, you know, that glory, and anything can happen. And it's a challenge that you have to face every day.
Because I came across some articles where she's noted as India's first businesswoman.
Yes. So she's the first Dalit woman to get Padma Shri award.
Wow.
In business and trade. So when my father left, my mother was struggling, and we had one shop which had a debt of 50,000 rupees. And she used to beg everyone to give me 50,000 rupees so I can restart the furniture business, and I can give education to my children. And at that period of time, nobody was giving her money. So she thought that she can maybe apply for a loan, but she had no educational background to fill up a form. And how can she do it? But she met few people who helped her to, fill that form, where she applied for a bank loan, and which was granted. And she started her own furniture shop. And then that time she realized there are many people in my community who don't know how to go and apply for a business loan. It's not difficult. Government is there to help you, but you just don't know the way. And that time, in today's world, we called it startup.
Yeah.
But back in 90s, she started helping those youth to help them with a bank loan, where they can maybe buy an auto rickshaw and start their own business. They can buy those silai machines, the sewing machine, where they start the boutique. So that's how she helped. And her name was quite famous in our area that time, that, oh, this is a lady who will help you. And that's how there were this few workers came to her that there is this Kamani tubes, if you'd like to take it over. And then, because we are not getting money. And if you do that, definitely we'll get some finance. And she said, okay, I'll try my best to do it for you. And when she jumped in, she found out there was 140 litigation cases and 116 crores loan on the company, the debt on the company.
Wow.
And she fought everything. She fought all 140 litigation cases. She paid the debt. She gave workers
solo, as a
female,
single mom
with no education background. I mean, she was the accountant, she was a lawyer, she was everything.
Wow.
When she jumped into this company, and this company was shut for 17 years, which she has turned around and make it into a profitable venture.
And in a society that prides itself on patriarchy, it's so fascinating to see how that sort of inspiration has, in many ways inspired you. And I kind of want to know, how have you been able to, was it hard walking your own path outside of the family business? And was there any sort of conflict or conversation to be had? And was there a disappointment with you and your mom when you were having to make that decision for yourself?
There was no disappointment. I love my mother because she supports in anything and everything I do. She's a big critic.
We need that.
Yeah,
we need that. Yeah.
But she has always helped me. Whatever I wanted to do, she was always there as a support. That okay, you go there. I'm there. So when I joined Kamani Tubes, and I was working fine and doing that, and when I told her about the farmers, so what hit me and tried that I want to make my own identity was because people were knowing me as Kalpana Saroj's daughter.
Right.
Seema Saroj, right?
Right.
And I always wanted to know, I want to create my own identity. But that time I didn't know what is the right path to go there. How will I do that? Because there was a lot of pressure, because you're a daughter of, Kalpana Saroj, and, people look you at that way. And how can I create my own identity leaving Kamani Tubes? And when I was working in my farm, so I used to have laborers, like ladies and men. And that time I used to pay 100 rupees per day. And the lady used to get 75 rupees. And I said, why? You both are doing the same work. Why can't I pay you 100 rupees? Why you want 75? Men's are superior. They are the god. We don't want to compete with them. We still want our 75 rupees. We don't want your 100 rupees. You give 100 rupees to them. That's what made me think of, no, I want to do something for them. I will have to do something for them. But before I do something for them, I will have to create my own identity. Otherwise, they are not going to trust me. They will think, oh, I'm Kalpana Saroj's daughter and I want to do something for them.
Yeah.
And that's how I started thinking and jumped into a Roveda. I started training them. I have another brand, Vedisaah, which is into incense sticks. I train those ladies, the marginalized ladies, into hand roll agarbattis and a machine made agarbattis. I train them to create their own brand. so that they can sell. So how to use a temple flowers, how to recycle them. The farmers who grow geranium for me.
So basically all the temple flowers that are just put on to adorn the temple, these women collect them,
Yes.
and they recycle these flowers,
Yes.
and they make agarbatti or incense sticks.
Incense sticks, yes.
Into
and they
them.
sell it, yeah.
Oh, I love that concept.
Yeah.
Can we do more sustainability projects everywhere where
Yeah.
everyone wins? And I think that it's just so refreshing to see the innovation and the thought process, because it was not just about the brand. It wasn't just about the products, but it was about inviting everybody in.
Right.
And what do you say to yourself today, having done all of these, just intersecting at every level, from a social level to making it a social cause, to making it something that is so deeply fulfilling? What do you say about your identity today?
I still have to make one, I will say, because I'm still in the learning process. And I love that today people know me as a Seema Saroj, where people think that I am doing an impact and creating a different life for them. I will give you a small example of my lady farmer here. Her name is Janabai, and she owns a half-acre land in Karzap. And before training, she used to save like just 20,000 rupees monthly. And after we trained her, after she is into rice cropping, today she is saving 2 lakhs to 2.5.
Oh, wow.
And she's so happy. She made her own house. But she's selling the vegetables as well.
Wow.
So
that's
yeah.
about $2,500 a month that she's saving. Wow.
And her school kids are going to the school. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
this is a proud moment for me.
That you're paying it forward for other women to have financial freedom on their own. And maybe they don't even need to have that education, like your mom.
Yeah.
And you're proving it, which is so fascinating. It's such an honor to really have you on the show. And where can we get access to your products?
So we have our website, www.roveda.com. You can go and then you can look for the products, and you can buy from there.
And then even your incense sticks as well?
Yes, incense, we have a Vedisaah Luxuries. So you can buy incense on that.
And you have Instagram handles for both of them?
Yes.
Perfect. We're going to link both of them in the show notes.
Yeah.
Now into our final igniting round. What does it mean to be brave?
Not to give up.
What are you braving at this moment?
As I said, I'm ready to face any challenges that can come. And I'm not going to give up.
And one word that describes this season of life?
Monsoon. Because that's what my farmer needs.
Bring on the monsoon, yes. Oh my gosh, this is such an enlightening conversation. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I feel like it's really inspiring to see how you've been able to connect the dots at every level, from a social level, from an impact standpoint, from a sustainability and farming standpoint, to creating products that you love and paying it forward for other people. And you're just a true testament, rising above adversity and resilience. And I'm just so honored to be sitting with you. So thank you, Seema.
Thank you so much for having me.
Until next time on The Brave Table.